welcome. Today, if you're watching live, do let me know, give me a thumbs up. If you're watching the replay, also say hello and let me know where you're tuning in from. I always love connecting with people from all over the globe. So today you're gonna watch me build the most famous maqam in Arabic music with Lego. So that's very exciting. So before we dive in, I want to introduce myself. I am, if you don't know me, my name is Yousef. I am a Syrian composer, qanun player, and educator, and I absolutely love helping my students to recognize maqam by ear and understanding how it works so they can eventually play a taqsim that expresses their innermost feelings. So, hi everybody, hi. Okay, so I am going to be talking about things you probably haven't heard about before. That's cool. The reason being is because I have developed a system to teach maqam in a fun visual way using Lego, and it's built. The system is built based on how maqam and how Arabic music works on practice versus theory books. Cool. Because there is, if you have been in my world for a while, then you would have heard that there is a huge disconnect between the world of theory and the world of how music is actually played on the ground. So the way I interpreted and I created the system is based on how music works, because that's what matters. In the end of the day, you want to play the music, you want to put it in action. Yeah, you just don't want to have it as an idea in your head. So ready to, I can. Okay, amazing. So let's dive in. So the core structure of Makam Bayati, which is the most famous maqam in Arabic music. Why is it the most famous maqam? Because simply there is an immense volume of repertoire. Huge. I don't know how much Bayati there is in the world. There's so much Bayati in the world. It's crazy. And obviously this is across the Arab world. So let's talk about the core structure of Makam Bayati. So just so you know, maybe some famous songs that you know is Moshaf Alladhi Askara. Everybody knows this Moshaf. So this is a very famous example of Bayati. Obviously there are countless other examples, but just to get your ears in the mood. So let's talk about the three core components of Makam Bayati. But not only that, we're gonna learn how the maqam behaves, because it's not enough to learn the core structure of a maqam. Yeah. So let's start with the heart. Number one, the root. Again, this vocabulary is something that I've developed, so if you haven't heard before, it's cool, don't worry. So the root is Bayati. So obviously let's just talk about this, which is what I'm carrying in my hand now. So this is what I call a building block. In classical theory you would hear it as jins or ajnas, but the way I would define this is that this is the heart of Arabic music, yeah? And the way I define an Arabic maqam building block is that it's a 3, 4, or 5 notes with certain intervals between them. Put 3 lines underneath the word interval, because this is what is important. So an interval, without talking in nerdy musical terms, is the musical step. So you can have a big step, like for instance this is a big step, or you can have a small step. So again, a maqam building block is 3, 4, or 5 notes or mini scale with certain intervals between them, because you can have the same notes but with different intervals that creates different different building blocks. So, so what I'm carrying in my hand here is the heart of Makam Bayati. So what makes Bayati a Bayati is that there is a quarter tone in the second note. So just listen. Let's sing it together. If you're new to Arabic music, you know, maybe singing a quarter tone is something weird or new to you, or hearing quarter tones. And I'm gonna let you in on a big secret. You need to sing it. Sing, 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 sing. This is the way to embody the music. So this is the heart of Bayati. Okay, the root of the maqam is what carries the essence of the maqam. So a lot of people say, if I say, right, so this is maqam rest, what would the root be? They'll say, oh, it's hijaz. No, it's rest. If it's maqam nahawand, what would the root be? Nahawand. Because the maqam is named after the root, not the other way around. Cool? So if the maqam is Bayati, your root is Bayati. So that is the first and most important component of the maqam. Okay? So then we're going to the second component of the maqam, which is the building block below the root. Nobody talks about this part of the maqam, and yet it is so important, super important. Why? People are, you know, just think below the root, therefore it's something you sort of need to shove underneath the carpet. No, it's part of the key structure, the core structure of the maqam. It's you know, when I think of so the maqam unfolds, it sort of opens up gradually, yeah? And so the first step, say in taqasim, is to go through below the root to the root. Obviously each maqam is different, but say in Bayati, you would pass by rast, and you would use rast to sort of open the curtains for the big star of the show, which is the root. So here is rast. So there's a quarter tone in the third note. Let's listen and then we'll try to sing. Let's try to sing it. Okay, cool. So sing it with the root. Okay, I love hearing your voices, even though I'm not really hearing them. But yeah, singing is really important. So this one is hugely important. Nobody talks about it, but it's part of the core structure of the maqam. Okay, so part 3 of the maqam is this. The branch. So it's a bit like a tree analogy, yeah? Because I just love trees, so I was like, right, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna say it's like a tree. So it's root, below root, and branch, yeah? So one thing about the building block below the root is that it's completely dependent on what is in the root. There's no creativity in here, okay? If you have Bayati, then you will have rast below the root. If you have rast in your root, you'll have rast below the root, etc. It's a matter of just memorizing. So you don't need to crack. There's no you know, just like sort of secret code here. Okay, it's very simple. If you have a bayat in your root, then your below root is rast. Okay, and therefore you know most of the maqam. So if it's a 3-part, then you have 2 parts already. How cool. Okay, so your branch is this. What makes it nahawand and nahawand is that the third note is lowered. Let's sing it. So it's like the minor in Western music, but it doesn't behave like a minor in Arabic music at all. It's very different. So let's try to sing it. Let's sing it together. Okay, cool. So, okay, I needed to have another rest, but I don't. So basically, you have another option, another branch, which is a rest. So, so you have both nahawand and a rest. So remember, it's sort of like sandwiched. So if you have a rest here below the root, it's sandwiched between two rests in a way. So here's the rest again. Okay, so below root, na 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 na, root, na 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 na, branch option number 1, na, 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 or 2, na, 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 na. Okay, so there you go. That's the chord structure of Bayati. So now let's get to the part that also all theory gets absolutely wrong. Theory describes maqam as a scale, but there is a big problem with that because it's inaccurate, simply because a scale is definite, it's absolute, it's fixed. However, a chain is flexible, it's interchangeable in its parts. And the most accurate way to describe a maqam is a chain, just like Lego. So I can remove a part, I can bring a part. So yeah, so a maqam has never been a scale and will never be a scale. Okay, maqam is a chain, and I'm just going to show you some examples in a second, and I'm going to teach you that through the behavior of maqam bayati. So it's not enough to know the chord structure of the maqam. So it's not enough just to know, okay, there is a rest below the root, there's a bayati, and there is an option of nahawand and rest in the branch. Not enough. It's really, really important for an authentic understanding and representation of maqam is to understand how the maqam behaves, because each maqam is like a person. They walk in a different way, they talk in a different way, they behave in a different way, and that way is completely unique to them, you know. Therefore, it's really, really important to study each maqam on a case-by-case basis, as opposed to sort of generalize, because then you're gonna miss all the nuances that, you know, make your performance authentic. So so in terms of bayati behavior, so the root and below the root doesn't change, it's fixed. So I don't have another rest here, I've just simply forgot to bring another rest here, but imagine there's a rest here, okay, below your root. Bayati, in terms of its behavior, defaults to this, to nahawand, and saves this, the rest, for a flash of tarab, and then goes back to nahawand. There are so many examples. So basically there is a switching that is happening. Obviously you can't have both, you can't have nahawand and rest operating at the same time. You have this or the other. Yeah? So, few examples. So, another example. سألوني الناس Bayati. So this is nahawand in the branch, huh? So this is nahawand operating in the branch. Bayati. Bayati. Nahawand. So basically, ras is basically saved strategically for moments of tarab. And the easiest way of to think about tarab is basically is contrast, is tension and release. So so in this case, so this is what I would call a dark building block. It's soft and mellow, and this is what I would call the rest is what I would call a light building block. So the switch between a light and a dark building block is what created tarab in that instance. So Bayati is very strategic in its behavior. So it stays here and then just goes here for a flash and then comes back to this. Obviously, so this is one maqam of so many other maqamat. I can't possibly, just cover all of them today in this short session. But I hope that has given you some clarity about what is a maqam, what is the core structure of a maqam, and how it behaves. And again, it's really important to think of each maqam as a person and to study it as a case basis. So let me know in your comments any ahas, any questions that you have, and I will go and in the comments and answer them. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you in the next live. Bye bye.